Nitro is the glory, but e-buggy pays the bills. Welcome to the No Name RC podcast. Get ready for some serious bench racing. But be warned, we speak our minds, express our thoughts, and sometimes things can get a little rowdy.
Hate, and he just was influenced by the hate coming from the left, the hate coming from the right.
And let's get back to more club racing and less of this grabbing racing.
It's hard not to be arrogant when you're always right.
See what I mean? That's exactly why people call you arrogant, Max.
You may not agree with everything we say, but it's definitely worth a listen.
And our pick, can you stop whatever you're doing?
Join your host, Lefty the Great, with co-hosts and guests as they get together to chat RC.
Hey, after that race that I watched this morning, I have to talk about it.
Here we go. $100 right here, $100 bill. Oh no! I like this.
Yes, indeed. Nitro's the glory, but E-Buggy pays the bills. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to show number 240 of the No Name RC podcast. I'm your host, Keenan White, a.k.a. Lefty the Great, and this show is all about the 2025 newly crowned 2025 two-wheel drive world champion, Broc Champlin. We had Broc on about a week or two before he went to the Worlds, on for a J Concepts INS 15 live show with myself and Alex Sturgeon. We had a great chat with him. I was very impressed with him. He seems to be maturing a lot. And we talk about this in this show. We talked about that on that live show. We talked about this in this episode as well. So when he agreed to come on, I thought it'd be cool, talk about it. It was a great chat with him. But before I do that, I need to say thank you to all you guys out there, the NNRC squad. None of this is possible with you guys. If you're listening to this on an audio only, I greatly appreciate that. Please leave a review. Come on over, hit that sub, like, and notification button here on the YouTube as well. It helps us out. We want to grow this channel. Our goal is 10,000 subs by this time next year. We're at 8,200 and something right now. Also, a big shout out to all the patrons and YouTube members. You guys will get early access of this. Thank you guys for all the support. If you wish to support the podcast a little bit extra, and I'll be honest, the YouTube and the Patreon helps out a lot. Please become a Patreon or YouTube member. Links for that in the written description of this podcast, and it definitely helps us out. Also, a big shout out to the companies that advertise with us and make this happen. Without them, absolutely none of this is possible. We have links for all of them in the written description. Some are affiliate links where we got a little slice. We have some coupon codes where you save some money. And some are just links. If you could just let them know, hey, we heard about this on the No Name RC podcast, it definitely helps us out, and we greatly appreciate it. Showing the sponsors some love shows the podcast some love. Another standalone podcast, no news, no nothing. It was a great chat with Broc. We've seen Broc develop over the years, and when you realize he's still a young man, he's only 23, 24, and he's been doing this for such a long time. Since he was young, we've kind of been around him a lot, and I got around him a lot this year through the INS. Not all, but I mean around him, like seeing him at the races, talking to him and stuff. So you build up a little bit of rapport with him, and you can see before he was a little bit timid and maybe shy around myself as a media outlet, but now he seems to embrace it. He talks pretty good, and it was a good chat with him. He just won a world championship. He's been on fire. Schumacher's looking good. He's on top of the world right now. He's going into the holidays. I hope you guys enjoy this chat. Congratulations to Broc Champlin, your 2025 two-wheel drive world champion. Yes, I need to get Marcus on her as well, especially after something that has been said on this podcast. We might have a rivalry brewing here. Thank you to Broc for your time, and I hope you guys enjoy this. This is brought to you by J Concepts. Thank you, J Concepts, for all the continued support. joining me in the virtual studio is a man who needs not much introduction. Oh, I'm just playing a video while that goes on. He is currently the two-wheel drive world champion, winning it in Australia here a couple of months ago. Congratulations, Broc Champlin. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, we had you on on an INS live prior to you going to Australia, and he was like, I have no expectations. I'm just going to go. And, I got this new lease on life. And then you go to Australia and go through this whole roller coaster, because I watched your interview with RC Racing TV. And he was like, I got there. And then I was like, I already lost this. And then you came back and won it. Yeah. Completed off a good year by winning the INS championship. And then, sorry. Completing it, winning the carpet championships here about 2 weeks ago, I would say.
Yeah. The world's experience, obviously, like I had spoke to you guys beforehand, there was no expectations coming in. It was just, I was just going to go there, do my thing. Traveling there was absolutely epic. I barely made it there. I arrived on check-in day. I went straight from the airport to the track to glue tires. Everybody was kind of already acclimated. And then we just everything was rolling. I sucked early on. I was terrible. My first practice session, everybody told me go out there with sunglasses. That was probably the worst thing I could have done. I literally couldn't see the whole track. Like, I couldn't see half the track. So that was the first practice run. And then every practice run after that, I was just terribly slow. Like, I just didn't really have any pace. I felt really just awkward driving the car. I thought maybe I had made a mistake by not going beforehand. And then I think it was the morning. So we got done with seating and then practice. Like the 2-minute drill before qualifier round 1, I lost my mind, came back into the pits. I was like, oh, this thing's over. Like, I don't have what it takes here. I'm just going to be backing up the back of the main at best. And then we Trish and I just took a gamble on some setup stuff. We went back to American-based setup stuff I would be more familiar with. Did the car have less grip? Yeah, but was it easier for me to drive, and could I actually drive the car how I wanted to? Yes. So that was kind of the gamble we took, and then went out there. Q1 was decent. Q2 was pretty good, and it just kind of ramped up from there. TQ'd the last round, started second, and from there it was good. And then obviously, we rounded out the rest of the year really well. We went to the INS finale, swept that. Everything was fantastic that weekend, riding the high of my life from the Worlds. And then Florida Carpet Champs still wasn't like, I'm still not that stoked on Florida. I feel like it could have, obviously you want to win as much as you can, right? And I wish I would have won 4-wheel drive, but I just didn't have what it took on main day to like really be myself. I don't know why. I just wasn't that rad on main day. So still got it done, but would have liked to end it a little bit more spicy than it was.
Yeah, it's been a big couple of months for you, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we've done a lot of winning, and that's always the most fun part about what we do. So yeah,
you've won a lot this year. You've won quite a lot this year.
Yeah, it's been good.
I rated you as the best 10 scale racer in the world at the moment the other day on my live show. Even Max had to kind of concur with that as well. And
there you go.
So congratulations. Lots of racing for you. I think I shouldn't say I should have noticed. Obviously, I've noticed you, but I think after your performance at Hobbyplex, the first one, I was like, fuck, this dude's fast everywhere. And I kind of picked you somewhat, somehow, some way. I said, I think you have a good chance of doing well. You did well. I was listening to, we're going to get into your worlds and all that stuff, because a lot of the stuff you said on that podcast, especially in the warm-up race, like me and a couple of buddies were talking, and they were like, well, Broc won that race on the warm-up race, right? And, we kind of were geeking out RC nerd-wise and whatnot. So we're going to talk about that and all that good stuff. Florida was different this year as well. I would give you that. It was a little weird this year, but hopefully things will be different next year as well. But still, nonetheless, a very stacked race with lots of competition. And once again, you beat the best in the world. Maybe a few that weren't there, but pretty much the best in the world.
Yeah. I mean, the Florida Carpet Champs has grown so much throughout the years, right? And it's at the point now where it's considered a world championship. So I don't think there's anybody that was missing that could have won it. Like in my opinion, I guess like Bruno maybe. As far as the other Europeans go, I don't think there's anybody else. But Bruno doesn't even race 10 skill anymore. So yeah, it's always, I mean, it's basically a world championship. It's all the best guys. So it's cool.
All right. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your beginnings, because for somebody that who's just stumbling onto Broc Champlin, how old are you? You're what, 24 now?
23.
23. So you're still a young man. Very young. You've been in this game for a long time. So you're old RC years wise, because you've been involved in this and racing at a top level from a very young age. So, and then your brother used to race with you back in the day. So maybe tell us viewers out here how it all started for Broc Champlin.
Yeah. So I come from a plethora, however you say that word, of a racing family. So my dad raced several things, jet skis, dirt bikes. And he grew up around his grandfather racing boats. So my entire family line on my father's side is a racing family. So when I was born, my dad at the time raced dirt bikes. Yeah, did that up until like 9 years old. My brother and I had rode, and my dad got hurt, scared us pretty badly. We didn't really care to ride dirt bikes. I mean, I still messed around on like 50s and pit bikes, and a couple of the guys that are down south in Utah. I live in northern Utah, but a couple of guys that are down south, some of the kids that we hung out with, still doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was fun childhood. And then, yeah, I got into RC because I didn't really want to ride dirt bikes. I didn't want to get hurt. I was scared of the risk factor. I think my parents were really scared of it. Another thing was RC cars were a lot cheaper. 3 dirt bikes is a lot more expensive than 3 RC cars. So we started racing RC cars when I was 13, but I got an RC car when I was 9. And I mean, we might have started racing like slightly before that, give or take a year or two. But yeah, we would just go down to like OCRC and we would race like the Surf City. I believe it was the J Concepts, like Sure Speed, Stock Nationals, just a bunch of stuff. We would always go to race at OCRC because that was like our vacation spot. Huntington Beach was our vacation spot. So we would do that. And then at the time I was living in St. George, I wasn't in Vegas, which is in southern Utah. And we would come up north and race at the tracks up here every now and again. But beyond that, we didn't really race that much. So going forward a little bit, my parents had opened up a racetrack, and not a lot of people actually know this, but my parents owned a racetrack for a couple of years prior to us moving back to Vegas. We got rid of the place, but yeah, we had a racetrack, and I could go there. I think I was allowed to be there like one school day a week or something, like a Wednesday night club night or something. And then I was there Saturday, Sunday, but I spent a lot of time there when I could. And I took advantage of it while I could. We would race there in 702 RC Raceway, which is in Vegas. And then we would travel to a couple of races every single year, but it wasn't like they were always at OCRC or somewhere in California, like the JBRL series. We'd do Bakersfield rounds, Victorville rounds. Yeah. And then I think it was 2017 was the first year I did the nationals, like the Roar Nationals. Maybe 26, I believe it was 2017, like EN Hobbies, or not EN Hobbies, the track in like Gaithersburg, Maryland, I believe. That was my first ever nationals in 2017. Maybe it was 2016. And then we raced a couple of other races, but nothing really kicked off until 2019, like 2018. I think I won the Reedy race in 2017, but then in 2018, I was terrible still. My brother was still kicking my trash everywhere we went. So kind of over time, got a little bit better. And then 2019 came around and my parents kind of gave me the choice that we were either going to take it super serious and they were going to like get me to every single race we could that year. Or we were just going to be done and I was going to go off to college when high school ended. And so I graduated high school in 2020. So if that tells you anything, I had to make a break decision in my junior year and it just took off from there. Like everything kind of spiraled out of control. I've raced 20 some odd races that year. I was racing touring car, 8 scale, 10 scale. I was doing every single race you could think of and it ended up paying off. I won a couple of races in 2019. You know, I won a Surf City, which at the time was basically the Nationals. So that was pretty cool. Made the Nats main and battled for a national title that year in truck. It kind of all just, spiraled out of control from there. 2020, I won a bunch of big events. 2021, I switched to Schumacher, bunch of events. 2022, I got my first national title. And just honestly, I would say 2022 and onward, it's just been, just finally like putting my name at the front or being somebody that's in the mix at every single race from about 2022 and on.
Pretty much. When you first got started, what was your first car? What did you start off with?
I had a Traxxas Slash. So,
Okay.
Traxxas is a big name in dirt bike racing as well. Like they sponsor like Kawasaki and their 250 team. And so we knew of, my dad rode Cowies and we knew of Traxxas and that's what we got. So.
Sweet. All right. So you started with a Traxxas Slash, like from Slash to world champion. So after that, what was you and your brother? I remember you and your brother weren't associated at the same time for quite some time. In the early years, I would say when you guys were still young. He's older than you, correct?
Yeah, my brother just turned 26 last month.
Okay, so he's about 3 years older than you. And he was faster than you at that point, at some point. But I think he kind of went to school, kind of in hindsight said, I'm not going to do the hustle and bustle to make this a living. And became, like I always say, went out and got a real world job. I basically got a job like everybody else.
Yeah.
And so you were very young. You had to make a decision very quickly if you were going to continue to do this. You're 23 now, and at 2020, you were 17. So big decision. And you said you put in a lot of work, racing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Was that the year that you raced the Nationals as well in Thornhill?
Thornhill was 2019. So
Okay.
yeah, that was the same year. Yeah, I was to touch base. I didn't really go over. My father and my brother both raced. My father was actually pretty decent.
Okay.
My dad raced 40 plus some of the events that we'd go to. But in like 2019, my brother was taking college full time seriously. My dad wasn't going to all the races. It was my mom and I going to everything. But my brother, he also raced and he was pretty good. And I think his decision to like, okay, I'm not taking RC super serious and it's going to go to college was as soon as he as sad as this is, as soon as I started beating up on him on like a consistent basis, he was like, I'm done. Like
You retired him.
I retired him. Yeah.
You retired
But
him.
I'm the guy that gets him out to race now. So it's funny how that works.
Cool. All right. Big decision at a young age, I would say, nonetheless. And you had to place, you put all your bets and all your eggs in one basket, and that was you. Not many people can do that.
Yeah. I was also like, my parents were so dedicated to me.
Mhm.
And like a lot of people know, I lost my mom at the end of 2019 as well. And my mom, to be honest with you, there was still like doubts in my mind. Like, okay, I'm 17 and it's almost time to graduate high school. Like I graduated high school in a couple months after, like into 2020, obviously. And I still was like, I don't know if I'm like good enough to be like, all right, I'm just not going to school anymore and I'm just going to be racing.
Techno RC. Techno RC is a championship-winning manufacturer of high-performance 8-scale, 10-scale, nitro, and electric RC buggies and trucks. With a worldwide dealer network, USA and Europe-based headquarters, comprehensive warranty program, and global race support, Techno RC is excellence in RC. View the full lineup of Techno RC race-proven vehicles by visiting www.technorc.com.
And I mean, I was getting a little bit of money to do it. And so I just kind of, I guess, stuck with it. And then my mom had put so much time and my parents put so much into me that I was like, I can't fail. So I put so much pressure on myself. And I mean, I've always like known that I've had the talent to do it, but it was always the work ethic. And when the work ethic came with age, stuff started to like tie together a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Was that something that you might have struggled with at a younger age in your career? Was your work ethic, putting things together, not just relying on talent alone? Because there's some people that can do that, who can rely on talent but still put in a lot of time and practice.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, was that something that you was good at, or was it something that you had to learn?
It was definitely something that I had to learn. Like my mechanic skills were always quite good. My dad made me wrench on my stuff, but it was more or less just like laziness when it came to like going to races. Like I just would, I mean, people are going to give me crap because I'm not in Cleveland this week, but it would be like, oh, I don't want to go here. I don't want to do this. I don't want to go to the practice track. I don't want to put like I wake up, oh, well, this is cool. I'm collecting a paycheck to do this and I get to go race whenever I want. But I would still wake up and the first thing is like, I want to play video games. Like I want to do something other than RC. And that would be 6 out of the 7 days a week. And when I woke up, and with age came maturity, and maturity came work ethic. When I woke up and started going like, oh, like I'm excited to do this. Like I'm excited to get behind the wrenches today. And like, where can I improve? And, like now it's like, I'm antsy to go to the track on Wednesdays and Saturdays, no matter what. And like, I just want to learn. And that when that clicks, that's when the shift happened for sure.
Okay. All right. So I know you and your brother weren't associated for quite some time. You said in 2021 you made the decision to move to Schumacher. What prompted these decisions to depart from Associated? How long was you on the Associated team prior to leaving?
I don't even remember when my first contract from AE was, to be honest with you. I mean, I ran for them for a few years prior to, maybe like 2014, 2015, I was getting like half off on stuff. And just over time, I think the relationship between myself, for one, like, I mean, I don't want to bash on anybody, but there were certain things I just didn't agree with. And they have a way of running ship that works for them, but wasn't working for me, I guess. And I wanted to change up, like, I'll just tell you, I wanted to change up electronics. I foresaw an opportunity to not only make a bit more money, but to also run a product that I thought would be better. And it kind of just, problems collided from there. And yeah, just not only that, but Spencer and I at the time, like, that's when the rivalry had begun. Like, we both just bashed heads so much. And the reason for it is obviously like you have two guys that want to win and now they're beating each other. And it's like a really awkward balance. So I felt one of the reasons I went to Schumacher was because there was nobody else there in the States. I didn't have to worry about like the drama with the teammate or any of that kind of stuff. I also felt like, and I kind of still see this nowadays when what's going on, is AE is very generous to certain guys. And one of those guys is Spencer. And I didn't feel like I could do this as a living if I was still running for AE because they had their golden boy. They had Spencer. They still do, Spencer is a 2-time world champ. There's nothing you can take away from him. He is deserving of every bit that they give to him. And there's only so many dogs that you can have in a house. And that's kind of, for me, that was one of the reasons I foresaw myself better off elsewhere. So there's a bunch of stories behind it. There was a bunch of drama internally. There's a bunch of, I have not really spoke about it much since it happened, and I probably never will. Like some of the conversations, I still regret some of the things that I said. I'm sure they regret some of the things in the conversations that we said, but yeah, we just parted ways. I paid for a contract buyout. I got out of there and I went on to Schumacher. I went to somewhere I felt At the time, I also thought carpet racing was just going to explode in the United States. And I think everybody is still thinking and like waiting for the day that the carpet racing just explodes. And it really hasn't just yet, but I don't know. I don't know if it ever will, but Schumacher at the time was like the carpet car. Like we knew if we were going to a carpet race, we were going to have good equipment. If I was running Schumacher, like everything was just going to be perfect and, go dominate as many carpet races as you can and improve the dirt program. That was kind of my thought process. And that's kind of just how it's been since then. So yeah, those guys have been generous from the start too. Like they were so happy to have me and I felt super welcomed. And from day one, they have just like worked their tails off for me, which I've appreciated so much. And that's what I was looking for when I went to Schumacher.
Awesome. You bring up some good points in there that I wanted to touch on. First off, I would say the rivalry with you and Rivkin. I mean, at that point, you're both. He's a little older than you. You're a little younger. He's a world champion by that time, 2-time world champion, near the end of it. And you're still fighting to get up. And I would say prove yourself to an extent. And you're correct. Like they have 3 good horses, right? They have Carop, who's out there winning world championships for him. They have Ongaro winning world championships. And of course they have Riffin. So anybody on the associated team, it's going to be hard to beat when you have 3 people of that talent level at the top, right? You have all your bases pretty much covered and ready to hit. It's a very difficult team because the pool is deep, right? I think I was just talking about this the other day with Will and Max about associated.
And not to like totally cut you off, but think about all the other guys.
Yes.
You got David, who's coming up. You've got
Aiden,
like not really coming up anymore. Davey was second at the Worlds. He's not really coming up. He's there. Aiden's there.
Una,
like they've got so many guys.
Yes.
And like there's only just so many. Like you can only feed so many people.
I agree with you 100%. That's why we see moves. We saw moves like on the 8 scale side, kind of like Jonah Wilson leaving, Lee Setzer leaving at the beginning of this year. I assume so they could get a better deal and get some money and make that. And Schumacher, it was a very small team. It was basically just European based. But when you joined, there was really nobody on the team. I think Orlowski was their main guy. Of course, they were doing well over there in Europe. But in America was just kind of you. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't your brother stay with Associated for a while and then join you later?
Yeah, my brother was a regional manager for AE
Okay.
at the time. So he was in charge of Nevada and California for guys that were not factory guys.
And then, of course, you had to battle through the Schumacher car was not good on dirt at that time because, to be fair, where the car was developed was over there in the UK where they race a lot on semi-permanent tracks, carpet tracks, AstroTurf tracks indoors, a little bit of outdoor racing as well, but not dirt racing like we see in the USA. So was that some of the early complications? Did you have to overcome that or was that all just hype?
BeachRC.com, the racer's one-stop online hobby shop. Choose from all the popular brands and variety in stock with super fast shipping and great customer service. BeachRC.com still has the local hobby shop feel with all the benefits of the internet. BeachRC.com is the exclusive distributor for Ultimate Racing, S-Works, Pro Circuit Racing tires, Nitro Lux fuels, and Assault RC performance products. So fill up your cart and check out at BeachRC.com today.
I think a little bit was hype. I just think nobody had drove the car on dirt. Mm-hmm. And guys like Orlowski, I will just tell you, Orlowski runs some like funky stuff. It works really well for him, but it doesn't really work for other people. And when he would come, say, run on like OCRC, he would come for the Reedy race. He's got his setup, but guys couldn't drive there's still not a lot of guys that I know that can drive Michael's setups because he's a very unique driving. He has a unique driving style. And so I think that everybody that would try stuff would always try his setup and they wouldn't try anything like even shock package wise that maybe other teams were doing, like AE or other car manufacturers were doing. And so I think everybody was just lost. Like, I mean, it's funny now, but at the time, like Michael would run a 2.0 rear piston, like 2-hole 2.0. And nowadays that seems more common than uncommon. But at the time, like you just thought it was weird. And so I just think nobody really had any experience. So what I brought to the table was I knew the AE car really well. And I could just tell, like looking at it, like, okay, well, the hub heights, that needs to change. These links, that has to be different than what, Michael runs. Like, we're trying to get a more standard American based setup. And so kind of early on, I mean, we did the exact challenge. It was my first dirt race. It was 3 months in, and I won 2-wheel drive. And Rivkin was there, Mayfield was there, Aiden was there. So it's not like the car was bad. I just think that people had the wrong impression because they only saw it on carpet. They never got to see it on a true clay track with slicks on, any of that stuff.
What else I was thinking about, a little bit off topic, is that you also raced against 2 different genres of 10 scale talent. Because you just said Mayfield. So you race against Tasman, Mayfield, Cavallari, and I would assume Tebow and them guys were still relevant and fast in 10 scale.
Yeah.
Because you said Reedy race too, right?
What was that?
You talked about the Reedy race. You won the Reedy race. I assume you mean the not the invite class, but the other class?
The open class, yeah.
Right, the open class. Where did you ever run the invite class?
Yeah, so I ran the invite class 3 times.
Okay.
First year I was 15. I was actually really mad that the invite class ended because the first year I was 15th, the second year I was 10th, the third year I was 5th.
It is a missed race. I wish the race would come back, period. It was a very good race. I used to watch, that was the 110 scale race I watched every year.
Dude, it was just so much action. Like, I miss it a ton just because, I mean, you're just racing heads up. And I feel like right now, like, that's my kind of my strong suit is like the racing side of things. Like qualifying, I struggle early on, like the first minute. But like when we got there out there in racing, I feel like so like live and I just love it. I wish that the Reedy race was still a thing.
Let's fast forward. Now you're on the Schumacher team. You're the lone Schumacher guy pretty much over here in the USA. There aren't many people running Schumacher at this time. It's still pretty much dominated by Associated and Losi or TLR at this point, I would say, with some sprinkling of X-Ray and obviously some sprinkling of Schumacher. Was you traveling now more to Europe with Schumacher and doing races over there, or how did things kind of ramp up at Schumacher for you?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't leave the country racing for Schumacher until 2023. I raced the EOS and I raced MKGP. So the first 2 years, I didn't do any European racing. It was all just state stuff. Trish had come over for some nationals. Trish had come for a couple of races and helped out. But yeah, just the role early on was like, let's grow this thing on dirt and let's win some carpet races. Let's get this brand out here in the States, because Schumacher was well known, obviously, for many, many years, but then it went away in the States. And so their whole goal was like, all right, we got to start from square one. The first thing we need is a driver. We got a driver now. Let's go win a dirt race here and there. Let's win the carpet races where we can. Let's start to grow a bit of a team. And from there, it's just spiraled.
Yeah, I would say so. So I first went to FCC. This is my 4th one. So the first one I went to was 2022. And did you win it that year? Did you win it in 2022, or was it Orlowski or Fenn? One of those.
Maybe it was Fenn. I think Fenn did, because Orlowski won. No, Fenn won in 2021, and then Orlowski won 22 and 23.
Okay. And you've won that how many times now?
4. I have 19, 20, 24, and 25.
And you won it with 2 different brands associated as Schumacher.
Yeah.
What was probably one of the bigger things as we go forward that helped things in Schumacher, not beside yourself, but what helped ramp things up for Schumacher? Because I would say that the Schumacher team is a lot stronger it is in 2025 than it was when I saw them at the FCC in 2024.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, those guys are just so dedicated. Like the cars have only improved because we don't have I mean, I don't know how much. I don't think they would care if I said this, but basically, when you run for every other team, you're kind of like just trapped. You're strapped down to a table. If stuff's not working, you're just done for. You unless they make a new part, you're kind of just cooked. And these guys are allowed to do testing and do all this kind of stuff, but they can't race with it. And so one of the things that we have kind of done and made sure was possible was that like we have a dirt rear hub, for example, for the 2-wheel drive, and everybody's was always like, oh, like, why do we need all these hub inserts? And then they try and they're like, wow, this hub's better. Where did we get the idea from? We went to races and we ran other teams' hubs. Like, so that was kind of like the development. We don't shy away from trying the things that we need to be trying. And, we want to race these things in an actual scenario. Like, we're not just going to go to a test track and go rent out a facility and run a pack or two and be like, yeah, it's good to go. Like, we're going to go and we're going to put it in a race scenario for a few weeks in a row. We're going to figure out what the real problem is in the car if there's a problem. And so I think that has helped the brand itself grow. Like, people know that we're so dedicated. Like, we're not scared to have a prototype car for 6 months and for people to see it. For one, it builds hype. For two, we actually have time to develop stuff. We can figure out what the problem is. We can make things better before it's released to the public. That way, when somebody gets an all new platform, it's as good as we can possibly get it to start. So I think that's something we take a lot of pride in. I think people see that as we're so dedicated to the actual racing side of things and not just like trying to make a dollar or two doing it. So obviously, like, yeah, we want to make money at the end of the day. That's the whole goal of it. That's the big picture. But we are so dedicated. We want results. And I think that is what attracts more people than anything. We want to win. There is nobody that hates losing more than Robin. Robin hates losing. Trish hates losing. Everybody at Schumacher hates losing. People know, for the longest time, I was a really sorry loser, but I absolutely despise losing just like anybody else. But because we all have that same way of thinking, I think that we just put so much dedication into making sure we have the best chance to go and win every single time we race. And I think that just draws in customers. It draws in other racers. That's why we've had a team that's grown. That's why we got guys like Sutherland, Tom, and all the other guys that have joined our team in the States. I mean, there's so many people that have joined our team, and it's because they know that we're dedicated to winning.
Yeah, I would say that I've watched it expand intensely. I've seen lots of focus. Obviously, I've been to a couple of races that Trish has been at as well now. 2 e-buggy worlds, FCCs. It seems, especially when he gets there, you guys all seem to blend together cohesively. We saw that at the e-buggy worlds as well. This year at the FCCs as well, we saw that with the carpet championships. Definitely, Schumacher has, I would say, at the beginning of this year in the USA, it was all about X-Ray. And there was a lot of hype about X-Ray, especially from this side here on this podcast. And then I would say from e-buggy worlds up until now, the end of the year, it's been all about Schumacher with a sprinkling of Associated. It's been about the misfortune of the X-Ray, to be honest. They're expected to win these races. They're not winning them. And you guys are. So you guys may have started off slow at the beginning of the year. But I think a lot of that also comes with the new car that came out, which I want to touch on as well. But definitely, this year has been very impressive for Schumacher. Obviously, you've been impressive, Orlowski over there. And the whole team, Sutherland, another name, another man, another racer that stood out extensively this year in the stock class.
Are you looking to take your ride-on car to the next level? ML Toys makes it easy with plug-and-play modifications like motors, speed and brake controls, and more. ML Toys is the one-stop shop to make your ride-on car the coolest car in the neighborhood.
But yes, let's talk about the four-wheel drive car. You guys were the last bastion of belts, switching from belt to shaft-driven. You've spoken to me many more times. It's just more responsive with a shaft. The belt, sometimes you feel like it hesitates and costs you some time. But seems like the new shaft-driven PB car has performed well on all surfaces and done quite well so far.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely, like, that's what I mean, like, earlier when I said, like, we're just dedicated to winning. As soon as we felt we were at a disadvantage, whole new platform. We can't be having belts anymore. And we kind of knew that for a few years, but once we stopped winning, it was time to switch. So obviously it's a whole new platform. I don't know what transfers from the old car onto the new car. I mean, there's a couple things, like, you can put the arms on. It's not going to be the same geometry, but everything's all new. The whole car is redesigned. We took bits and pieces that other guys were doing that was really good. We had a bunch of good ideas from our current four-wheel drive, because I had always preached, if we had a shaft-driven four-wheel drive version of the old L1R, it would be so good. And so that's what we did. We had that, and then we tried a couple things. We were like, oh, that's really good. Oh, this is really good. And we made a platform. So yeah, it's been awesome. I think that the biggest thing when everybody asks me what's better about the car is, like, it feels like you can unlock yourself. From the moment that I kind of got the car, I realized really quickly that with the belt car, I was tapped out. Like 5 minutes was just strapped, and then you just hope that it was enough to win. Now it feels like you can go out there, you can back it off a couple percent, you can kind of get your feet wet, start stepping in the right spots in the qualifier, get within a 10th or two, or you got a couple 10th lead, and then it's like last minute you have more in the gas tank. Like, you're going to go race somebody, like, okay, we're feeling dicey. Well, if I pull the trigger, it actually goes. Like, with the belt car, it felt like you were just driving full throttle the whole time. And this thing, you can back it down, still be fast enough. And then when you want to give it more, you just give it more. It has that capability. So it's a very live car. It's sharp. It does, I mean, it's really good. It just swept, obviously, the Florida Carpet Champs podium. We didn't have the best experience at the Worlds. I think we made some bad decisions. Like, I think my four-wheel drive was probably one of the better four-wheel drives at the Worlds, maybe the best four-wheel drive. And I know that maybe doesn't sound that great, finishing 8th, but the driver wasn't that good in the finals. And I made some bad tire calls, but that car was really good at the Worlds. Won the Carpet Nationals. Michael had a mistake at the very end of the Euros. Otherwise, it would have won the Euros. It's a very, very good platform.
How long did it take it to develop from when you first started hearing about it, getting parts, talking about it, to having, a production ready car, more or less?
I mean, maybe 9 months to a year, probably. I mean, these things, like, it's just like any other, like, industry. When they are like, yeah, we're coming out with a new thing, they're working on it. Like right now they're making cars, like real cars, for next year. Like, the development is normally a year ahead of when it actually comes out, or when you start seeing stuff. But it was honestly, like, one of the reasons it sat in prototype form for 6 months was because it was kind of rushed. We pushed to get done. That way we can make sure we had at the World's warm up for the guys that went. And, it took a bit of time. Obviously, if they've never built a shaft driven four-wheel drive. So they're trying to figure out the little things they need to do. Think about all the materials. Like, all of our diff gears before were just plastic. Like, it was literally just a plastic gear and a belt riding on it. Now we have to mesh things and create diff heights and do all the fun stuff with it and figure out how to make all that work. And that's what took a long time. So
I probably should have asked this earlier, but it just came up. Was it difficult learning how to work with the Europeans, the British at first, and getting them to figure out what was needed on the American side of things?
Yeah, and I think that Americans have a funny way of communicating, a very disrespectful way, honestly.
Okay.
I think every American, we're a lot more rude. We're kind of straight to the point. So what I learned early on with Schumacher was I would just be like, hey, the car needs this, this, and this. Like, I would write an email, like a list of things that I need, or shoot Trish a message. And, like, I think it would turn them the wrong way. It definitely would, because we've had conversations about these kinds of things. And that's just the way the Americans operate. We're very just cutthroat. We just want to get it done. We want it done on our own time. We're very selfish people compared to other parts of the world. And I think that the communication at first was a little bit difficult, and learning to work. Like, I'm a tough personality. I'm a very stubborn person. Like, I think that a lot of racers are, but I feel like maybe I'm a bit extreme at times. And that's something that I've really had to work on. But Trish, I think at first it was a very tacky thing because Trish is like the kindest person you've ever met and so forgiving. And yeah, we were polar opposites.
Yeah, you guys have a very unique friendship. I was watching a little bit of his Trish bits from Carpet Championships, and he was like, on that note, I'm out. And I was like, oh my goodness. You got to check that out. He is very soft spoken, very polite and proper, very posh.
Yeah.
Very posh.
I've tried to be so much better. Like especially working with the British people, like they're just English lads are just so they're just so kind. And I've tried to I've changed. A lot of people know I've changed a ton in the last 2 or 3 years. My whole personality has changed. And, some of that is to thank from them, just learning kindness and stop being so stubborn and stop being so selfish. And I don't want to swear, but quit being
a dickhead.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no need for it,
So, that's a great segue into my next topic, which is yourself. I'll start off this with a story. Danny Paz, Danny Paz, who we work with at Elite. He'll always say, he goes, Lefty, Broc has changed so much. I was like, what are you talking about? And he goes, because I guess years ago he must have did a Wits commercial and he had to get flown out to video you or something like that.
Yeah. And
he was like, I went out to this guy's house and I videoed him. And he said at the race, you didn't even really acknowledge him, or you was like, it was like I wasn't even there. But now he speaks. I was like, he seems so different. And then he also, you pleasantly surprised me with our live show. And he was surprised because he watched it as well. And I think you surprised a lot of people with how open you was and how freely you talked about things. And it surprised me as well, because I'll be quite fucking honest. Like we've said to her, you've always been known as this guy who wears his heart on his sleeve, invites trouble, doesn't shy away from saying what he wants to say, and was kind of I don't know why you had this aura, you was difficult to work with from the press side of things, but I think you've been available towards myself anyway of doing any interviews over the years. And then obviously seeing you at these races over the last year and a bit, I've got to know you a little bit better. And I guess the Earl Broc was also younger, because I got to remember you're 23, right? Yeah. So you was younger back then too, and it was a different world for you. But definitely some maturing, some self-reflection, some criticism, I would say, is making you a better person, a better driver. It looks like it as well.
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, Danny, I forget. I've known Danny for a bit of time, or forget what year it could have been, but Lou Connors from Wits Racing, has worked with Danny on a couple things. Some of these things are a bit foggy. I have some of the worst memory of anybody. But yeah, I was stubborn. I was selfish. I was rude. I definitely was inviting to problems, and I think there was just a time in my life where, I was the silver spoon kid. Everybody knows it. And I had everything given to me and I didn't know what responsibility was. I didn't know what, consequence was. And that's the honest truth. That's how I was raised. I never cooked a meal until after my mom passed away. I never did laundry until after my mom passed away. She would pack my suitcase. Everything was always done. Laundry's folded, put away. I didn't take my clean or my dirty clothes to laundry. I didn't do nothing. I was just, everything was always done for me. And I never learned, in ways I'm so thankful for it. But in ways now, because I'm certain things, I hate cooking, I hate cleaning sometimes, I hate doing laundry, whatever. But I was honestly, I wish it could have been a little bit different, because I realize now that I live on my own and I have all these responsibilities that like life really isn't that easy. And as a kid, you just take advantage of those things and you don't really ever see the full picture. And I think it's when I started to really understand all of those things, and, you know, like I'm becoming more open about this, but like as I've grown in faith, it has changed me like entirely. I have just changed, you know, how I treat people, you know, and I want to be able to like lose and win with grace. I want to be able to treat everybody, you know, with respect, no matter how they've done me. And I mean, there was so much beef even just when I left AE, like, you know, like grudges I would hold. And I've since, like, you know, Brent could have, you know, I don't know what Brent has said to me, you know, and I think, you know, it was awkward for a bit of time, but this is just an example. I don't know what Brent has, you know, has said to me, or, you know, what I've said to Brent, but for whatever I've done, you know, I've been apologetic and I've forgiven. And I think learning those kinds of things, and just, it comes with age, it comes with maturity. And yeah, it's changed me completely. Like I'm not, you know, I've been quite hard on myself, for so many years, and everybody knows that. And I think, you know, I've got a really bad RBF. So I was unapproachable, or, you know, everybody always
Resting
thought
bitch
like,
face. I was like, what does that mean? RBF.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You do.
And I
You
take
did.
things really seriously. And, you know, I'm never satisfied when I'm at the racetrack because I'm chasing perfection. And I know at the end of the day, there's certain times where like the guy that's beating me is myself that's beating me. And I like don't want to be that way. And I'm just very critical about myself, but it has improved me a ton. And I think, you know, between friends and, you know, family, relationships that, you know, I have with just all the people around me, there's people that have really checked me and put me in my place. And, you know, I couldn't be more thankful, and that I've got like the friends that I do that will just, you know, give me a jab in the side when I do something wrong, and like tell me like, hey, that wasn't cool. And, you know, that's all just part of who I've become. And, you know, I'm proud of who I've become. I'm proud of the changes that I've made. Do I still have a lot more growing to do? Yeah, I'm 23, but there was certainly a time, and I know that there was a time, where I was just an ass. Like I just treated people horribly. You know, I wasn't respectful of people. I didn't show people, you know, respect when they would beat me. You know, I would cause conflicts, but I think that's a few years ago now. And like, this is the person that I am. And I'm okay with being beat, because I know at the end of the day, my butt's not getting up to go to that practice track if I'm always winning. So I'm okay with getting beat. I'm okay with accepting, you know, just taking my medicine, take it on the chin, be a man, go do your work, and come back and be a better person tomorrow. There's a saying that goes around, you know, if I can just be like a fraction of a percent better of a person each and every single day, whether it's racing or just who I am as a human or how I treat someone at the grocery store, if I can just be a fraction of a percent better each day, then I'm winning. So that's my goal. And, you know, that's the person that I'm trying to be. You know, I've got like my hobbies that are keeping me, you know, flowing and fun. You know, golf's teaching me a lot. I told you before we hopped on this thing, I just bought a piano yesterday. I'm learning to play the piano. You know, that takes a lot of patience. I like having these skills and things to do, things to take my mind away, but also, you know, just always trying to learn, whether it's, you know, racing, piano, golf, you know, how to ride my jet ski, or, you know, learning how to treat somebody. That's my goal at the moment. And that'll be my goal my whole life. So
Sounds like you did a lot of self-reflecting. Who are you listening to on YouTube, or who is somebody on your playlist that you listen to help sort through those type of thoughts? Because I have a couple of people I listen to.
Some of this stuff is personal, like I said, growing in my faith, you know, and just feeling like this is the direction that I should be taking, or the things that I should be noticing. You know, I'm very grateful, like blessed in certain areas, but some of the things like that I'll put myself in position to see is like the Sean Ryan shows, a lot of stuff of people like hard lives that have gone through war and stuff. I don't really watch too much Joe Rogan, George Janko podcast, you know, somebody that's faithful, somebody that's showing like, you know, somebody that is kind of was like me, you know, just rude. And then, you know, wanted to just like, there's a ton of self-reflecting, trying to grow, trying to be a better person. And yeah, but I think a lot of it too is like just my relationships. I don't watch a ton of stuff, but my relationships with people, I have been very Like I let my friends know, like, you can be harsh on me. Like if I make a mistake, you tell me. Like, and yeah, I think that has more than anything, listening to the people that love me.
Awesome. I'm not going to keep you too long. We're going to go talk about the worlds here real quick. We know that you won. There's a great synopsis on how you went through practice. You talked about it early and all that stuff. But I want to pick up on the situation where I think you won the worlds. And that was in the practice final of that world championships. Coming on that straightaway, you and first of all, you and Karap were going back and forth, just dicing back and forth. I said, "Oh, we're all at home, we're getting excited, we're watching you guys going, and we're like, this is going to be spicy." And then, of course, you guys are coming on the straightaway, and I can't remember how much time was left, but he was in second. He tried to come around you. You guys muscled on. You didn't give. He didn't lift. You guys clashed. He went flying off straight away. You kept on going. And me and my buddy go, he won it right there. And a couple of people that I was talking to were like, he won that right. He has won the worlds right there, right there, right there. I felt that you had won it right there. Did you feel that you had won it right there at that point?
I completely agree. I completely agree. Marcus was swinging at the start of qualifying. He made maybe some changes to his car. He went backwards on things, went forward on some things. And I think, I ended qualifying on a really strong note. And then, starting second with TQ in the last round, you have a ton of confidence. Warm up comes around. I mean, everybody knows, like, when you get into a warm up like that and you're starting second and there's a guy that's been kicking your butt all weekend, top seeds, he's got all this, like, these TQs, and he's starting on pole because he deserves to start on pole. You want to rough him up a little bit, and
racecraft, because that was done to you.
Yeah, yep. That's happened to me a million times, and I hope Marcus learns from that. But I will say, I learned this from Spencer. Spencer, I still remember the Slovakian Worlds. He TQs.
Mm-hmm.
He goes out there in the warm up. Ongaro races him hard. Spencer finishes dead last, super far back. Similar to Marcus and myself. A1, Spencer goes out there, still can't think. And one of the things that I greatly, I try to take away from Spencer is so good under the pressure and under the light. And that A2, A3 performance, just so much pressure, he did not crack. He was like a diamond on midday. But he was roughed up. And he had to overcome that. And I think seeing that was that's how I know now, okay, you can get into somebody under their skin. Because I watched Ongaro do it to him and I saw what happened in A1 after he did it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've watched people do it. It's been done to me. And I was like, I'm not going to just blatantly just blow his car into the fence, but I'm going to give it a good wheel to wheel clip. Or I'm just going to race him aggressive. I'm going to throw it in corners, maybe give him a bump up a jump, just a slight brush or something. Make him know that, I'm not just going to let you walk away from me. You're fast, but I'm not just going to give this thing to you. And that was kind of my goal. And yeah, I agree with you. I think that's the moment that I won it.
And I guess I'm going to ask two more questions about this. Where did it click for you in qualifying? Because you went from, I shouldn't even be here in practice to, all right, I'm Broc Champlin and I'm doing really good. I'm fast. Is there a specific time? Is there something that happened? Did you specifically remember that's when it kind of clicked for you?
I mean, I think it all happened at the perfect time because I think it was qual 2, qual 3. Maybe I had a 3 and a 2. I forget my points. Maybe it was a 3 and a 2 somewhere in there. And then qual 4 wasn't that good. And I remember when we were leaving the track, qual 5 is the day of mains. And I remember we were leaving the track and I was like, all right, I just got to go TQ round 5. And I went out there in the morning practice and that's when everything clicked. That's when I was I went out in the morning practice and I was really, really fast. The only guys that were faster was Dakota and Ben Smith, and they were running way later when the track got way better. But for the guys that ran in the first 2 heats, I was so much faster. And I was like, okay, everything's working. Go out there, TQ the last round. And I kind of got a gift to TQ, but I didn't really accept that. I kind of just was like, yeah, I TQ'd, keep the confidence. But that was when it clicked, was the morning practice on main day, the perfect timing for everything to align.
Mm-hmm. I would say so. I remember that too, because you had the best track. Period. that your heat finally had their term, and they would have the best possible track that they could possibly have. You had it. It's still a TQ, and you got to ride that wave of confidence going in, I think, to that final. I think it's rough when that person. I think the wave of confidence goes for that person who scraps out that last TQ run and goes into it, especially you starting in second. So you ride that wave of confidence going into the finals, in my opinion. All right, let's talk about the pass in the jump section. Now, this caused some controversy. I got pictures of, look at the shadow of your car, his car in front of your car, all this type of stuff. We looked at different video angles. We declared it fair. I mean, I think if you look at it, if my personal thought was that Carrot kind of came over to your racing line, you was holding the racing line as you was needed. That pass started when he made that first mistake on that jump and he squared up and he couldn't land properly. Then he had to punch it out and he crossed over to you. But man, the Associated guys were not happy with that. I believe that was A1. Did they protest that?
Well, it's actually funny you say this. The only people that were upset with it was Marcus and his dad, from the sounds of it. I think even the team drivers, like other team guys like Davey, Spencer, because Davey was like, well, that means that I won the main. And then Davey went back and watched and was like, no. I think Brent also was like, no, like because it happened. It wasn't from anything that I had done. And everybody wants to catch the still. But if that tells you anybody that's watching this that disagrees with that pass, just know that not even Brent Thelke wanted to get involved because it was not, you have to see it from beforehand. And yeah, he made the mistake and I was jumping and I did check up. If you see where I was normally jumping and where I was ending up into the corner, like I was jumping 5 feet past where I jumped that one lap, or 3 or 4 feet, however long it was. Like I checked up. I knew that his car was coming from left to right. And yeah, I mean, what am I supposed to do? Like just roll the jump? Because I barely jumped the jump and he hit me. Like it wasn't like I sent, because we were launching that jump all the way into the corner. And so, yeah, I mean, I stayed
was there any tension in the pits?
Not really. I mean, I didn't even think anything of it, to be honest with you. And when I was walking up, like Marcus didn't say anything and Brent didn't say anything. Like no AE guys were, not even the AE fanboys, some of the lower team guys that are watching, nobody like disagreed with what had happened. I think everybody, if you were there, everybody catches the still, which is like where the cars are in the air, but they don't see what happens before that. And they don't see what the natural racing line was. That I tried to avoid what had then transpired. And even more has transpired like in Florida, like from it. It's been kind of a little bit ridiculous.
Oh, you mean you and Carrot are kind of building a rivalry now?
I mean, I don't care to have a rivalry with anybody.
I think
nowadays.
It's great. That's
everybody likes it, but I'm like, I just don't want to be a part of that kind of stuff. Like I was always a part of that stuff, and now I want to stray away. Like if Marcus beats me, dude, good on you. Like you kicked my butt this weekend, like hell of a job. Next race, now I got to try and beat you. But like a rivalry where there's like, because some of the stuff, like in Florida in the second round of 4-wheel drive qualifying, he was a lapper, and you could go back and watch the video, but I had about a second lead on Daniel, and then all of a sudden I wasn't leading because Marcus tried to take me out as a lapper. And then we get there and we last round of 2-wheel drive qualifying, my car's sitting completely out of the line, purposely as far out of the line as possible, and Marcus full throttles it into my car when we were done.
Okay,
so like that kind of
like
stuff.
We have a rivalry brewing her. That's what it sounds like to me.
I disagree with that kind of stuff. Like if he wants to do it, I'm not going to do it back. I don't have that in me anymore. Like let's race, let's be men, let's see who's the best. Well, I know that you're going to post this clip too, and he's going to see it. But Marcus, I'm sure you're going to see this clip, dude. But like, there shouldn't be any hard feelings. This is we're racers. We got to race each other a lot. If you want to keep doing that stuff, go for it. I'm not doing nothing back to you, bro. Like,
hey, there's nothing wrong with calling people out if you think they're doing stuff on purpose at all.
Yeah, I mean, it was on purpose because it did happen to another teammate in a 4-wheel drive qualifying from him. Like he was intentionally like hitting the Schumacher cars when we were done. And like, it's just, that's kind of uncalled for. And you know what? I was that way one time. Marcus is very young, but I hope that like, if he does hear this, it's just something to learn from. Like, I don't have beef towards you. If you beat me, dude, hell of a job. If I beat you, like, I want the same respect in return. I win with grace. I lose with grace now. I have nothing but respect for everybody that I'm racing. I don't have any ill intent for any of those guys up there. I want the best for them. You know, I don't want to get beat by them, but I do want the best for them. I want all of us to win, but I want to win the most, right?
Hey, that sounds kind of spicy to me. That sounds kind of spicy.
Stir in the pot.
You win at A2. What is the elation? What's your feelings? What did you have for dinner that night?
I mean, to be honest with you, so I got told right before A2, I was putting my tires on. So if people that aren't there, you got the tech room. Maybe they've seen a video. You have tech room. That's where all of our tires are impounded. You walk through, grab your tires, put your tires on, box goes back. You get done, pull them off, back in the box them back. We were putting the tires on my car, and the IFMAR, I forget the guy's name. So like, if somebody could please question, or like if he sees clips of this at any point, if you could please comment your name, because I keep forgetting it. I want to get it right.
Is it Clive?
Clive. Yes. So he walks up to me as I'm putting my tires on, and he goes, "Hey, I need you. Come here for a second." And I was like, what did I do? I was like, why is there an official talking to me? And I thought they were going to tell me. So like, the first thing that came to mind was Noah Ben Mohammed at the Euros when he
celebrated too much.
So the first thing to me was like, maybe he's just pulling me aside. Don't celebrate. Don't distract. If you do win right now, whatever. And so I was like, that's the first thing. And then he tells me, hey, there's a protest against you from Marcus and his dad. And I was like, oh boy, like, okay, this is a bad time. I literally looked at him. I was like, this is a really bad time to tell me. He's like, well, I thought I should tell you, because if you do win this main, we need to hash it out. I need your perspective on it. And they didn't tell me before the race started what the call was or what the rule was. And the rule was obviously like, it was fair and they didn't do any penalizing. But we got done. And when I stopped, and I was still hesitant, because I was like, I don't even know if I won this. And I kind of felt like the people behind me. And as soon as I turned around and saw the trophy, I was like, well, the protest is clearly hashed out. And it was just emotion. Like, the emotion dropped from there. Spencer and I have had this lifelong rivalry, and like, just a big hug with Spencer, and like, just a congratulations from somebody that, like, you know, I wanted to be Spencer when I was racing with Spencer. I wanted to be Spencer so bad. I wanted to be a 2-time world champ, winning these national championships, like making money. And, you know, so like, congrats from him. And then, yeah, just from there is the emotional dump, like reflecting on like a bit of life. But to be honest with you, when I woke up the next day, that's when I was like, oh, okay, like this is real. Cause I had a trophy, I had a winning car, and I realized it was real then. But that night for dinner, man, we went to this Italian place every single night on 2-wheel drive main day. I think I had, maybe like, I don't know, chicken parm or like spaghetti or something. Some of Michael was getting those big bread loaves that they've got. They're really cool at Italian restaurants. That and a glass of wine, and I was done. Like, I don't really celebrate. I don't really drink or do any of those things anymore. You know, after we were done with 4-wheel drive, I had a little bit more alcohol at like the banquet, but like, for the most part, man, I just was really happy. I was, you know, happy for my family. My dad stayed up, didn't go to work the next day because of the time change. He stayed up and watched it, and hearing his emotions and my brother's emotions on the phone, my stepmom's, that was enough for me to feel satisfied and not, you know, go out and need a celebration. And my celebration was feeling the love from my family and my friends and everybody that, you know, has supported me.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thanks.
You don't have to answer this, but you can give us an estimate. I always wonder, how much does one make in contingency for a world's win like such and such? Is it, because I'm under no illusion, I know you guys ain't making millions of this at this. Is it more than $20,000 for something like this?
No.
Okay. So
Is it far off? I don't know.
All right. So probably I would think that. Do you think that? I think that they make more because it's two classes, right? If you want both, obviously you would make more. But I
If you
think
want both, yeah.
Yeah, I think like 1/8. They say that 1/8 world is generally around 25 to 30. I don't know how true that is.
I think it depends on whatever your contract says.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, obviously some sponsors, like, I don't know, like my first national title, my bonus at the time from, certain companies, my first national title paid me almost what this world's paid me.
Gotcha.
So it's just what your contract structured as at the time. And yeah, I think, I made good money from it.
I think you made a couple of good paychecks. I mean, you won that, you won INS, and you won FCC. So,
and then the Copper Nets earlier in the year. It's been an awesome year. Like financially, it's been awesome. And you know what? This is an industry where if you're winning, it's very fruitful.
Yes,
and I'm very blessed that I get the chance to do this and get the chance to, some people know, like I'm in my own home, like I own this home. Like I'm very blessed to be able to, race and afford, the things that I want to do. And yeah,
you're still young.
You gotta win.
You're still young. All right. So you're kind of on hiatus now. You're not doing Cleveland. As we're recording this, Cleveland is about to start. The onward start happened. The offward start's about to happen. So I guess your next big race will be the Clash. It's a busy, not so busy for you because you're not running 8 scale, but it's a busy January start for many racers. I guess I will see you. Are you planning on doing INS at trackside? Yep. So
yeah.
I'll see you there probably. And then it's back on that horse. Are you gonna do any 8 scale next year? Is there any plans to do any 8 scale? There's the rumors of the Schumacher 8 scale coming out.
Yeah, I would like to race the Worlds. The beginning of the year for me, it actually looks a lot more busy than your average 1/10 guys stuff. There's some races happening across the country or across, in different countries that one of them I may or may not be attending. So be doing
Can you
a couple.
say which one that it's going to be?
Yeah, I will just say we're talking like hopefully everything is like aligned right now that we're going to be doing it. I'll be going over to race the EOS again.
Okay.
So
nice.
Hopefully, not hopefully, it should be happening. I was potentially going to race the MKGP, but that falls on the dates of the INS. And obviously in America, to me, the INS series itself is like our nationals. So I want to be racing that. And, but yeah, for the time being, I'm not racing Cleveland this week. To be honest with you, I've had enough of the traveling. And, just Florida kind of took it out of me. I mean, there's a bunch of other reasons, maybe not things that I want to be so vocal about, but, nothing with me personally. Like I'm good, but just a couple of things going on. And,
you guys need time off too.
Yeah, we do need time off
too.
And it's been epic, and I'm excited now to enjoy my next few weeks. It's not like I'm sitting at home. We got those raffle cars that you guys at Elite RC.
Yeah, you got to build
those. Spoiler: I'll play into your silly season stuff. You're gonna like this. May or may not have someone new. So they're
on Schumacher.
Yeah, I'm not. No leaks. That's all I'm saying. It's going to be exciting. You're going to absolutely love it.
Really?
But they're going to come here and do some running for about a week, and we're going to, get him planted because at Clash, it's a quick schedule. Day one is 2 3-minute practices and a round of qualifying. So we're going to try and get them acclimated. And I've got a bunch of stuff going on in general. For the people that do follow me, I'm going to be doing live streams. I got to build a world's replica car for the boys over at Schumacher. And there's only 4 weeks, like realistically, until I do leave. So yeah, it's still like, I'm not sitting around. I'm still doing all the fun shenanigans, just not going to Cleveland. And, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the new year. I'm looking forward to hopefully keeping the ball rolling. I've got a couple things that are changing in my program that'll get announced, like nothing major at all. So that'll be pretty cool. Some new opportunities, and looking forward to it.
Sweet. Now you've piqued my interest. I'm gonna investigate some more. And I'm sure we'll have you back on her as we go into the INS, go into 2026. And yeah, congratulations on a great 2025. Congratulations on winning a world championships. I would say even more congratulations on this new maturity that you find. And that never stops because you continue to mature and grow older and change the way you think and learn things. But I wish you all the best on that journey as well. And I would say enjoy your holidays. You have earned it. Be safe and get ready for the clash and INS coming up in 2026.
Yeah. Hopefully I'm back on this thing. Obviously you might have me on before the INS, but even throughout the year, hopefully I win something, hopefully I can get on here. If you're on Lefty's podcast, it means it's because you're winning. You got to keep winning to have these fun times.
I hope your peers come to more events too. That would be great. And
my peers,
your racing peers, like everybody makes more attempt to come to as many INSs as possible.
Oh, yes,
I know it's difficult, but hopefully they can as well.
Yeah. So thanks for your time. Happy holidays for all the people watching. Happy holidays to you and your family. And
thank you.
Start off 2026 on fire, hopefully.
Yeah. And once again, man, congratulations. World champion.
You.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. All right. Thank you, Broc, for your time. It was a great chat with you. Good luck in 2026. Enjoy your holidays. Relax. Get ready for the clash. And hopefully we'll see you doing some 8 scale next year as well. Once again, congratulations on your World Championships, your INS Championships, and let's see what the future holds for Broc Champlin and this new attitude, Broc. So well done. Well done. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. I enjoyed talking to Broc. Thank you, guys. Thank you to the NNRC squad around the world. Obviously, we can't do this without you guys. Holidays are coming up. We're going to do a Christmas show here soon. Trying to figure it out, work it out with Max. It might just be on my own. We'll see. I'm doing a lot of lives, so I like the lives. So you'll see more lives. I'm enjoying them. I like interacting with you guys. Coffee, RC, and waffles. Thank you. Appreciate the support all around the world. Can't do without you guys. Big shout out to the patrons and NNRC squad the NNRC YouTube members. You guys go the extra mile, and I appreciate you guys' support as well. It definitely makes a difference in my life. And hopefully, if you like what we're doing, you want to support us, you can find the links in the written description and become a patron or YouTube member. Also, a big shout out to these companies that make it possible. We have links for them in the written description as well. They are J Concepts, High Tech RCD, Sidewinder Fuels, Laterra Racing, Invisible Speed, ML Toys, Dollar Hobbies, Side Piece Racing, Fly Sky, Get Stuff Done Coffee, Elite RC Productions, RC Project, Mayako, Techno RC, Beach RC, Racecraft USA, and Clinic RC. Nitros to Glory, E-Buggy Pays the Bills. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Lefty is out. You guys enjoy your weekend. Have a great weekend of RC.